Well, can you make them walk slower? Yeah. Can you make them reach out their hands in front? Yeah. Can you draw a little blood? Yeah. Those are zombies. Hi guys, today I want to talk to you about the first game I'm going to showcase. It's Z versus Me. It's a mobile game, it's a multiplayer third-person shooter, and it's the first game we did. So I want to go over how we did it, what was the decisions behind it, and showcase everything that we did. It's not that much, but it's a really cool game. Now after that, we're going to add links in the description for all of the assets that we used. I'm going to talk a little bit about why we decided to use them, and after all, you can download the game and play it freely. It's gonna be on Android for sure, and Apple if they stop being such bitches, honestly. It's a big hassle working with them. It's so annoying, they don't answer the emails, they don't answer anything, and the AirPods suck too lately, so let's get into it. Z versus Me was invented by me as the first mobile game we wanted to do on Unity. So when we hired a few people for Unity and the designers, we decided to do something simple. It's a mobile game, we shouldn't go to do something outrageous, and it shouldn't be something too hard to do because we want to finish the accomplishment first. So we decided to look for low poly designs based on the fact that the FPS is going to be higher. I don't want to go to optimization too much and making the game run smoothly in the first game we're going to create. So we decided to go with low poly assets. Now the first asset we thought about was the shooter itself. Like, we need the mechanism, we need that kind of specification because we don't want to work on it alone. So we found 3D shooter AI asset of some sorts in Unity. We're going to link it below and you can check it out for yourselves, but that gave us the initial step that we needed to create the game. After that, we started looking for locations. The main problem we had with the locations is the maps were really kind of small. So basically, when we build a map in a game, we want the option to move around, we want the options to hide, we want the options of different scenery, even if it's just for the demo or even if it's just for the video to showcase the game itself. We're gonna do commercials if we build the game, and for those commercials, we don't want to show the same thing over and over again. Then it's gonna look like a Marvel trailer. We want to do something, you know, a little bit cooler. We want to show that environment and a different one and a third one to give the illusion that there's more to the game than it is. For me, I didn't want just to give the illusion because I knew I'm going to finish the game. So I wanted to find a bigger map. That was a kind of a problem at first, but then we realized we can multiply it and kind of change the scenery with not too much work, and that's exactly what we did. So we developed a map and we got the 3D shooter. Then we went to the assets for the players themselves, and we found some cool assets. And actually the funny thing is, when we wanted to create the zombies, so we didn't find any assets for zombies, and the developer came up to me and says, well, I can't draw zombies right now in zero notice. I told him, but we got people, so what's the problem? Well, they're not zombies. Well, can you make them walk slower? Yeah. Can you make them reach out their hands in front? Yeah. Can you draw a little blood? Yeah. Those are zombies. And that was kind of a non-developer, non-gaming person, not anything kind of a solution that I came up with. I'm sure everybody can come up with, but that's an example of what should you expect from me as a game studio owner and not the person who working on the stuff by himself. So coming up with the idea of the game, like I said, we wanted to do a shooter because it's easy. We wanted to do zombies because everybody likes to shoot up zombies. I don't want to get political and shoot up kids or shoot up adults or shoot up different armies and anything like that, so that was decided. After that, there was the question of multiplayer and single player. Obviously, single player is much easier to do, but I didn't feel if we're gonna do a single player game, it's gonna bring enough attention as it is. And it wasn't like a fun game that I wanted to play by myself. Actually, in the testing period, we had a lot of fun playing the game with the developers and each other and shooting ourselves up, finding the bugs in the game where we get stuck and stuff like that, and even giving my 5-year-old kid at the time the option to play the game, and he's still looking for my Android phone to play it up a little bit, and he says, I want to shoot up some zombies, Dad, can I? So that was a cool idea. The developing process. So the developing process took us about 5 months. I think we started on December 20th, the year 20th, and we finished on April 2021, something like that. A lot of the time that it took us to develop the game was just talking and going back and forth with the developer and asking questions, trying to realize what I want to learn from the game itself. Now, going into this, not knowing anything about computer games, I had a ton of questions, like, can we use these assets? Yes and no. And why? Can we use this environment? Yes, no, and why? Why is it stuck? Why is it slow? Why is it this and why is it that? And that process gave me all the information I needed to finish that game. So the 5 months that took me to create the game with a small team, I think in all honesty and knowing now what I know and using the right assets and not just buying like 20 of them and realizing most of them were bad, it's gonna take 2 months. And if you want to do it yourselves, you can follow the steps, or you can just think about the game and how you want to create it. For me, not realizing at the time, but the way to create the game is the idea, combining the assets and everything I need for the game, building the first initial stage, not building the entire game, just building the first initial steps of it, then looking at it and then optimizing what's needed and not going and starting to build everything to work greatly. For us, it was the movement with the controllers, it was the shooting, it was the noises, it was the blood splash. A lot of it was actually the multiplayer and how you start the game and the pinpoint place in the map where you're going to start, because some of the times we just teleported ourselves in a closed environment that we couldn't get out of, and at first we forgot to put the reset button on. So it was leave the game, close it entirely, open it, and hope for the best so you can do some testings before you ask the developer to do it once again. But again, mistakes is what makes us learn. You gotta be careful from wisdom that was not earned. I heard it someplace recently and I think it's really smart. From what I've learned, this is the way we build the game. Unity engine was perfect for this job. Now, thinking about what I want to do and how we want to do it, when we encountered the idea of mobile games, the Unity was our first choice. We didn't have much trouble finding the employees for the Unity games, and we had kind of a variety of people to choose from, and I always tried to go with the person I enjoy talking the most, because I know with developers and with employees, it's not just about, professionalism of the person, it's also about how we will connect to our team. How will I be able to explain the things going around in my head if it's a hard time communicating with that person? So that's a lesson about employees for me as well. When I search for somebody, I have like a phone talk of an hour before I even ask something technical. I just want to get a sense of the person and if I'll be able to communicate with him, which was very smart. In Unity, we didn't have that problem at all. We found a bunch of people that can work on Unity and we picked 1 or 2 at first to go over these games. Now guys, you also gonna see up next our assets that we made ourselves, which you can download, you can buy, you can use, and the ideas you got from us in this game. The videos surrounding me are gonna show the game itself, and I hope you're gonna download it and check it for yourselves. Thanks for listening and please subscribe. We need those likes, people.